Hey, what up guys, it's Yeti here. Welcome back to another video. In today's guide, we're going to be talking about Bind. I've made 2 map guides already. This is my 3rd map guide in the series. And before we get into the video, I just want to quickly say that there are timestamps in the description of the video, which you can use to jump around from a different, attack, defend, or different sites in general. The purpose of this video is for me to show you how to play the map, where to defend it, where to plant, where to hold, where to push, and just in general give you tips for specific sites to hopefully increase your win rate on the map. Let's get into the video. Alright, so before we jump onto a specific site and start talking about all the setups and things like that, I want to talk about the specific thing that Bind has, which other maps do not. Split, for example, has those ropes. Ascent has the doors. Heaven has 3 sites. This map has a teleporter. 2 of them, actually. The first one goes from A site to outside of hookah on B. And the second one goes from B long, which is where we're right now. And it takes you to a bathroom. You can also throw utilities through these doors. You can hear them from really, really far away. So this is something that you're going to have to pay attention to when you're playing on Bind. Let me give you an example here. We're going to take my my grenade, and we're going to throw it through. You know, it goes like that. It makes a different sound than when a person goes through, by the way. So you're going to be able to tell if there's a nade or a weapon being thrown through. You can also do that. Yeet. And let's take the TP. So there we go. And then you're inside this little room, and the door won't open from outside. It only opens from inside. So if I go like this, it's going to open up. I can actually go back into it, hide. The door is going to close again. But if I'm on the outside and I wait for the door to close, I cannot go inside. So keep that in mind. It's one of those awesome things that each map has in Valorant, something special. And on Bind, it's the teleporters. All right, so now we're on A side, and we're going to first start off with defender strategies. And we're going to talk about how I usually play on this site. So A site happens to be a little bit more open than B. And in my opinion, it's one of those sites where you should probably play 3 players, because it's if they're gonna like aggressively rush from either of these 2 doors, it's gonna be really hard for just 2 players to hold. So the first entrance to the site is called A short. Some people call this mid or second mid, and then they call this one mid. Listen, I don't think there's mid on this map. I just call them B short, A short, okay? So this is the first spot where you're going to have to hold. I often play 1 player right here outside of lamps, which, by the way, is a very important place to play on this map. So 1 plays either lamps or outside of lamps, and the other one plays right here, very close to a cubby, and you have some sort of crossfire. Often Sages will wall this off. I also happen to play Viper a lot on this map, and you could do a wall like this, for example, to block off also hookah. Or you can wall from there to block off just both of these entrances. But in general, I would actually play 2 players here. Or maybe 1 can play right here behind the boxes and 1 plays heaven, right? In general, 2 of the 3 players should be focusing on short, because it's a little bit harder to defend. It's a little bit more open. People can throw out flashes, and they can then easily, run into lamps. And if they have both lamps and short control, they're probably going to get side control. As for your player number 3, he should be holding a bath. There's many good ways to hold a bath. You can play Heaven to control a bath. Heaven can also look at short. You can have to decide, different strats for different rounds. You can also take high ground right here. Pretty good spot to hold. Jet, Omen, and Sage can all get up there. Also, Race can get up there. And sometimes you can also see players pushing here to try to get an aggressive pick and get the orb over on a bathroom. If they get deeper on site, you can always hide behind here. But do remember that this wall can get shot through, but this one can't, because it's too thickness. Well, the corners can, obviously, but because here they're shooting through 2 of them from bath, they probably won't be able to shoot you there. That's a glitch, by the way. The bullet's not going all the way through. So you should be safe in general. You can also try to, more passively control site from here. That's another angle. And behind truck, and also on top of truck. when enemies will be rushing at you, also do keep in mind that it will often hide behind, we just call this spot box. You can actually penetrate through that all the way, get a kill very, very easily. And if you're in an eco or something like that, I would recommend you to maybe take a shotgun and play right here. Maybe with a judge or something. This can be a very, very dangerous spot. You will often get mollied out, but if you don't get mollied out, you will probably get at least one kill. Pretty nasty spot. All right, let's move over to B site. And this site is actually where I'm playing most of the time because as you guys may or may not know, I've been playing a lot of Killjoy and she's really, really strong on B site. I would kind of say overpowered. So on B site, again, there are two entrances to the actual site. The first one is called B long, and the other one is called B short. This house right here, you can call it apps, you can call it hookah. There's all kinds of names for this house. And there are a few strategies I will show you in here as well. But let's first focus on long and in general how I would play here. So as I said, usually 3 players are on A. That means 2 players are on B. Except on pistol rounds, people often send 2 here. Because it's, I don't know, pistol rounds are very like rushable. And I think it's a little bit easier to hold this one with 3. So, for the most part, you can hold this site very passively. One player is right here, watches that hookah jump out, and the other player can play either here or maybe here, and can also peek out like that. That's gonna be your like most default safe spot for side control. You also have this spot right here. I guess it's called B cubby. This is a very, very strong spot, but it often gets mollied out. But if you're in this spot and if they're like pushing side and they don't check this, you have like literally free kills as they're like walking here. Especially because they will often plant on top of here. And if you're like sitting there, which you know you're also in a shadow, so you're not that easy to see, that's a free kill for you. Or people plant here, and you know if you're sitting right there, that guy's planting. Sometimes you're gonna be able to shoot their head that it's peeking out. Like I remember specifically getting a lot of kills from this spot. You also have another way to play here, and it's if you're aggressive over in hookah, or like if you're economy, you have multiple strategies. The first one is to just do an aggressive hookah like peek. So the wall is right here, the spawn wall goes away, you peek out, try to go for a kill. That's gonna be very close to their spawn and very close to their wall. This is a very aggressive and risky play, but if you have a character like Phoenix or Reyna, you can sometimes get away from it. But do keep in mind, people will probably hold that. The second strategy in hookah is actually playing shotguns, doing a little crossfire with your teammate who plays right there, and one guy's gonna have to shoot out the raise bot, but in general, you should be easily able to kill them, right? Like, because this is like a millimeter away from them. Another like scenario, which I don't see often played, but I know about it, is to play on top of these boxes. Raises bot will not get you. Mollies will not get you. And this is one of those spots that is like once per game. If they're gonna run out here, they're gonna probably check there first and there. But here, you should be in a non-pre-fireable angle. And you can actually get really dirty kills from this spot. And I got them before. And same goes for standing on top of here, by the way. These are both like Roomba spots. It means that the raises bot will not attack you. And the mollies will not hit you probably. But you still get flashed. So it's like a 50-50. It's up to you to decide what kind of composition they have. And if you want to try this play. If you're playing Killjoy, this is where you put your alarm bot and your molly. Very, very strong spot. It's gonna hit them if they jump out and if they're standing here. Very, very good. Now for long B, how to approach that angle. Again, you can do aggressive peeks like this. You can go wider. You can go wider. This is the orb. The orb control on this will not be taken that much. I feel like bathroom is like a little bit easier. While long B is a little bit more exposed because, if you're taking this, they can shoot you from the entire long and it's pretty spooky, right? But then again, this is like on the side of the map where if they're not going B, they're probably not going to have a guy go long. You can also play a close angle right here. This used to be a very good Phantom spot because Phantom has a higher rate of fire and insta headshot even on this close range. But now the Vandal got buffed, you can probably do it with Vandal too. So, you wait for them to push long and to peek sight like this while you're just like waiting for that dink right here. You can also back off, play like this. So you're on a higher spot. You're not going to be on the headshot level, so they have to flick to kill you. Pretty good spot. And this is a spot that you play if they are all rushing hookah and they have nobody long. You can play right here. And then you pick them out as they're jumping out of hookah. Very, very good spot. There's another thing we have to talk about here, and it's elbow. As I said, there's going to be a guy probably playing here and watching for those hookah pushers that are going to be jumping out. And you can actually back off like this. And you go like this. And you're basically in your spawn. It means that if you're playing elbow, it's very easy for you to back out and play retake with your team. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Because retakes are absolutely amazing. Like, if you get a kill or two and you fully back off and you're in a 3v5 retake, or sorry, in a 5v3 retake, so you have two people more than them, you're probably going to retake without a problem, right? Also, another thing you have to know is you see the spot right here, from here to here. This is wall bangable. This spot, you will often bang this because you're going to be shooting directly like that. So you're going to be shooting into garden and right next to the default spot. And this will often result in a kill. Probably the most popular wall bang I've ever done to get kills with. Also, same goes for when you're on this side. You can wall bang through like that. But obviously, like, you know, people often fail and go too much to the left. You have to understand. Okay, is that a bug or is it actually that far? Oh, it is that far. Okay, never mind. So yeah, now you know. That is how I play B side. Let's move over to attack side. All right, so we are on attacker spawn. And we're going to be talking about A side first and how to approach that one. So for the most part, people are either going to go here on the right or on the left whenever they're spawn. They also have a cave connecting the two together. But in general, you are going to want to send 3 people here and 2 people in bathroom. Let's go on cubby first because probably a more important site since, or important spot since 3 people are going here. Very important to always check left side here for the shotgunners that we talked about earlier. And when it comes to smoking, if we peek out like this, we can see that green box right here is actually going to, if we smoke on top of it, we're going to smoke heaven window, right? So if you can't get all the way close enough to smoke heaven, you can drop a smoke right on top of there. Let's actually do it with Viper right now. Let me show you. Let's fire this. Let's throw that there. Pop that. So let's say we have that smoke. Yeah, there we go. We cannot get shot from heaven. It's also really good to either smoke or molly off lamps. And to maybe do another smoke right here so you can actually go on site freely. So after you've gotten this far with your team and you have that smoked off, you gotta be careful of this very close short angle. Okay. And you gotta be careful of this angle here. And in general, lamps. You should have one guy watching lamps probably. As the other people go for side control. Again, gotta fully check bathrooms if your team haven't pushed out yet. And then you gotta make sure that nobody is hiding behind there. And then for the most part, you have side control. And then you go for a plant. I would say right here is where you would be planting. You can see just the square on the map. Either right here or people used to plant in this spot here. But I feel like this is not open enough. And this can actually cost you a round because let's say you plant right there and your teammates are all short. And, you know, they're like trying to spam through the wall. And then the guy somehow gets the defuse off. It's very demoralizing. But in general, those are 2 default spots I would go for plants, right? But something that people forget about is like, if you have full site control, plant as open as possible. Like, make them go for that stupid, like, defuse, right? Like, you can literally plant right here. And that's going to give it, like, so many angles to shoot from. Short, CT, bathroom, heaven, right? That's open to, like, 4 spots. Obviously, it's harder to also plant. Also, if you're going really, really far, when you're attacking on A, you can come here, and you got, like, a little ramp up to heaven. And, you know, this is a spot that's pretty good to get, or at least make sure that nobody is playing here. Now, let's go to B side attack. All right, so here we are outside the attacker spawn on B side. Another thing I want to talk about is setting up flank control in this map is very important. Killjoy turret can be placed, like, backwards, right? So it's aiming towards me. Right here. So it's basically looking like that, and like that. That is going to fully prevent you from getting flanked at any of these spots. So we're talking about this one, this one, and this one. And that way, you are fully like comfy. Like nobody can flank you at that point. The only way they can flank you is through the teleporter. But do keep in mind, if you have a Cypher, he can also set up his own Cypher traps. You know, one will often go here. The other one will, like, let's say, go there. Or, like, I don't know exactly. I don't play Cypher. But you guys know how to set up those traps, probably. Or at least get creative in some way. But I would almost definitely put one over here. So, when you're attacking B, again, you have multiple options to push. One is taking B Fountain into B long. The other one is going B short. So, Fountain is a very long angle, as we said. And here you're going to have to clear left side there first. Make sure nobody's crossed. Then you're going to have to clear side like this. You're going to be watching Cubby once again. Use something like a Molly maybe for the Cubby. And then you're going to have to clear close. If there's any headshotters, then you got another 90-degree angle right here. And then you're already going towards elbow, which should be your priority probably. Now let's go look at how we attack over on hookah side of things. Hookah is a little bit different, a little bit trickier because it also has a teleporter. So already when you peek out here, you have to be careful that there's, you know, people not peeking out early. Then I would suggest you to park a Sova right here, pop out his drone, and drone out hookah for you. If you have an Omen, he can also do a flash right from this, which is going to fully flash out hookah. Bridge can also do a full-on hookah stun. When you're pushing out, you got to be careful of people teleporting behind you or people throwing Molotovs, nades, slow orbs, all kinds of things through the teleporter. And when you're going to hookah, the way I clear things, and hopefully this is going to be a big tip for you guys, is I crouch for this first angle here. So, like, I mean, obviously you have to make sure that nobody's close here. And you crouch for this angle. That angle also has to be cleared, but people don't play here often. And then you go a little bit deeper on site. There could be a guy there. There could be a guy behind. And then when you're here in hookah, you want to send people on site. It kind of sounds weird because there's utility waiting for you, but stacking up in hookah is the worst thing you can do. It happens so much in solo, and I freaking hate it. You want to molly that, jump out, and start clearing. Your teammate's already pushed long, so you're fine. This angle is clear. You clear that. You clear that. You clear tube. You clear this box right here in the back, and you're fine, okay? And for the plants, I usually plant either here or here. I don't like playing or planting in safe because if they get control of this, they can free defuse while you cannot wallbang them, right? Because some of these parts are not wallbangable. Some are, but some aren't because of that big thing covering it, right? So yeah, in general, planting here is the way. And then going to play long. This is a very good angle to defend from. You know, you watch hookah from, like, you can peek out hookah like that. Or sorry, not hookah, elbow. And then you can also get the diffuser very easily. So that's the way I defend a B site. Also, Sage Wall right here, very, very good. Or Sage Wall on that one is very, very good. But yeah, if you're going to clear off B site, they're going to have, like, many different ways to take it back. Teleporter, going through spawn, and so on. But this was my brief explanation of how I play Bind in Valorant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got more map overviews coming out soon and more guides in general, so make sure to press that subscribe button. Also remember to leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and all those things. Also, I am live pretty much every day on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Yeti. That is it. Thank you guys for watching this video and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye. Later. Peace out. Safe, so I get higher. One shot, then 10 top, pass out. Never see me again when I cash out. You don't